wanted to take you along on a chaotic baking day with me. I have an order for tomorrow, as well as just personally, I like baking cookies for my old team at the hotel that I used to work at, and I bring that to them every holiday season. So I'll be going on Black Friday, hopefully to avoid all the crowds. But yeah, just wanted to show you guys like what my process looks like and how time intensive it is and how type A I get about it. Okay, so from here I start with my recipe cards. Yes, I still use recipe cards. I don't remember any of my recipes by heart at all. So that's why those are there, and laminated, because nobody wants, you know, sticky, gross papers that you have to reprint. I also have these boxes prepped and ready to go with some ingredient lists. Ugh. And then here I've actually already parsed out my recipes. So I have the dry ingredients all parsed out based off of like which batches that I'm doing, as well as any additional active ingredients. I don't know if there's any truth to it, but I don't include my baking soda or baking powder, any of my actives, until I'm actually ready to create the dough, because I don't want the active ingredient to like not be active and once it oxidizes. So when they're in their containers, I'm like, okay, like this is airtight, so I know that that's fine. But if it's in these, it might not be active. So that's just me being paranoid. When people are like, oh, baking mix is not real baking, I mean, what is this? If I put this in a bag, it would be baking mix. So I do not shit on baking mixes. I actually really love them, but there's a way to make it gourmet. And then, so yeah, I'm gonna be making Oreo brownies as well. Yeah, haven't made those before, so gonna give it a try. So I prepare all of my ingredients on the side, either the night before or just before I get prepped, because when I'm making multiple batches of things, I will quickly forget what's going on, especially if things are in the oven, things are cooling. So having no mental capacity to measure things out, I do it beforehand so that it makes, you know, cleanup easier, and there's not all these ingredients everywhere. I can safely focus on the process and making sure like consistency, texture, things are baking properly. So that's why I just do that. So tomorrow morning I have a order of matcha blondies to take care of, and then the rest are just going to be gifts, so I can take my time with those. But I'm anticipating that these will probably take a full work day. So probably from like 8 or 9 a.m. up until 5 or 6, if even that. We'll see. We'll see how that goes, but here's a start. Yeah. So doing all of the ingredient prep, it probably took me about 20-30 minutes or so. It's pretty quick just because I've gotten used to doing it, but in the beginning it took me a little bit more time because I wanted to make sure like I was measuring stuff out. Now I'm like, yeah, I don't even measure my vanilla out. I just let the spirit of my ancestors be like, that much. So I'm happy that I've gotten there. And I know when the texture of certain things are off, like if the batter's too dry and I'm like, this doesn't look right. So I'm happy that I've honed my skills a little bit in the time that I've been doing this as a side business. So yeah, now I'm gonna go eat dinner because it's like 8 p.m. So my first order of business today is going to be my order of matcha blondies that a friend of mine is gonna come pick up this afternoon. So I definitely wanna get that out of the way. This one is pretty simple. I remember most of this recipe and I might be out of sugar. Shoot. Of course, this is stirred up with the flour, but now I need to melt butter. of matcha blondies is in the oven, and in the next 26 minutes I'm gonna clean up so that I can restart all over again, and then set up my little like assembly line, essentially is what that's gonna look like. chef's jacket from when I was in college. Every year there was at least one cooking class during one of the semesters. Usually it was like the spring semester. Actually no, it was either time. It would flip because I remember going to class at like 3 and the sun was already setting. But anyway, one of the fun parts of that class is that you get your own chef's jacket and like you keep it in the classroom when you're in that major for like the entirety of your degree essentially. So I got this freshman year, so this was definitely a little looser several years ago, but it still works. It has like pen pockets up here, but I would actually stick tasting spoons in here, and then like I would have a towel over my shoulder or like a towel like tucked into like a separate apron or something, usually on my shoulder. So yeah, got my name embroidered on it. Some people leave theirs behind, but I was like, no, I want this. And I get to use it now. So I use it when I honestly like when I cook, because when you're frying stuff or it's just like the smells terrible, so I like having this as an extra layer. And then with baking, just, you know, I like to keep it clean, but I am wearing sweatpants under, so don't mistake that. almost 1 o'clock and my brownies are still in the oven because it's the one that takes the longest to bake. So I'm gonna take a quick lunch break, and then after that I'm gonna get started on the ginger snap dough, and that will rest in the fridge while I start to bake the snickerdoodles, as well as finish prepping the order that I have come picking up. So that's the plan. I might throw in some, oh my god, what is the word? I might throw in some shortbreads into the order as well. I usually like to throw in a few little extra things as a thank you. So that would be next. In case you didn't know, there is a non-stick side to the foil, and it is the dull side. So if you're ever not sure if it's dull, if it's not shiny, then that is the non-stick side. Time check. It is 2:30. I'm quickly losing sunlight, and it sucks working in my apartment without proper sunlight, so I'm trying to get through as fast as possible. I didn't film anything about my ginger snap, mostly because I messed up on one of the batters. I totally forgot the baking soda, so to redo that so that put me a little bit behind, so I'm just trying to speed through the rest of today. So I will check in later. things to the right length is not my forte, I will say, and I don't think it's most people's. So the way that I cut up my brownie pans, because they are 9" by 9-ish, and then after things bake, they shrink. So it's really not really a 9 by 9. So I actually have this pasta cutter that I use to essentially mark the exact like sizes that everything should be. So that's why this is here. And I was thinking, I was like, oh, I struggle with my shortbread cutting as well. So I'm thinking if I can do the same, I think that would make my shortbreads a lot more uniform, and I would go a lot faster, because using the single cutter is terrible. It takes forever, and like the butter melts, and you gotta put it back in the freezer, and then you gotta put, so I don't know why it took me so long to think of that, but pasta cutter, more than just for pasta. Well guys, that was a wrap on this chaotic baking day. Clocking out at 8:08 p.m. So that was 10:30 to 8:10. So yeah. Oh, I also clocked, how many steps was that? 8,000 steps. And that's why I wear this watch, because if I didn't count my steps, I'd be losing all this walking. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope that was fun for you guys. Yeah, let me know what you think. Interesting thought. Yeah. All right, I'll see you guys. Bye.